Hi Pierce.
Hello Daniel.
So, this Civic has been built to make an epic amount of power, but we've been chasing a trigger issue.
You're never gonna catch me!
Where you'd be halfway through a run and the RPM just goes straight to zero, just completely loses the crank trigger. So we had it off, we had the car off the dyno, when was it, last week? We had a little bit of a closer look. It looks like whoever built the motor, not us, or put the crank bolt in or something like that. So on the on one of the pulleys where all the trigger and everything is, because it's got an aftermarket trigger on the crank, the crank bolt wasn't done up properly, and the belt was having a bit of a party. So we've just put all that back together. I think it had something to do with the cam belt cover. Apparently the B16, a B18 and a B20 actually have different covers on them, so it was actually pushing up against the cover, which was making the bolt not go in all the way. So I think they've got the right cover, or they modified it. So we've gotten it back on the dyno. I'm just going to do a run now just to make sure we've got no trigger issues. Just raise the idle up because this thing doesn't idle properly, so there's still a lot of tuning stuff that we've got to do in the car. A couple of runs that we did get out of it, which I have done all the partial throttles, I have done wide open, but pretty much just at a bar and boost, which is what the wastegate spring that's in it. We haven't put any extra in, and it was still making, I think it was like 270, 280 kilowatt wheel out of a V20 with the turbo, so not bad. The engine has been apparently sleeved, forged rods, pistons, all that kind of jazz, but we're probably going to be running this probably, I don't know, 18, 20 pound. If we can kind of crack the high 300s is what we're aiming for. If we can do a 400 kilowatt run, then that would be good. It's got all the axles, the gearbox and everything to handle it, so yeah, we'll see how we go. Trigger circuit too.
Well, could be.
That's what I mean. If it's sending the 12 volts,
you'd see the trigger. You'd see the trigger. If you put 12 volts on that trigger circuit, it'd just go to 12 volts because that trigger's on 5 volts or whatever it's on.
Well, no, we're seeing 9 volts on that.
This little car wasn't built yet, but we've done a little bit of tidying up and stuff on the wiring. Car wasn't running when it arrived. We had to fix the clutch on it and do some other bits and pieces. But it's been having a trigger issue as the car increases in RPM. The triggers keep giving us like an oscillation, which means that the car's obviously hesitating. We've just gone through the process of elimination. Like the cam belt wasn't tight enough, so it was getting a lot of belt deflection, so we've looked at that because it does have an aftermarket top and bottom trigger. We have cleaned up some other like grounds and things in there. These old cars do have issues with the clusters, so we've pulled that out as well just to make sure that the actual cluster isn't causing the problem. But yeah, unfortunately it's still got a little bit of a trigger breakup, so now it's one of those things where we kind of got to bash all of our heads together and figure out what's causing it.
Fuel pump. It's the auto control valve.
It's going to be that non-genuine Honda gear knob.
Yeah.
Well, we didn't. That sensor had signs of where it had kissed it. But it didn't look. Just two little kicks, and like we thought we'd try it, but maybe that cherry sensor's dead. So we can try that.
What if? We've got to find it. We need to make some power. The car did actually make, what, 300 kilowatt on a bar? 310? Yeah. It's 262 wheel. But yeah, we're just gonna figure out why this crank issue keeps happening, and yeah, this is one of those process of elimination things, unfortunately. But it's not my job. You're never gonna catch me. Probably seen this car in the background, but the reason why the video hasn't ever gone live for this car is because we've been chasing an issue in this thing. You're wasting your time! Forget about it! Go do something else! That we have not been able to figure out. It keeps randomly turning the ECU off, and it keeps sporadically, like randomly, having a misfire. Well, not a misfire, like it's more of a signal breakup in the computer, which is causing us to not be able to put full load on the car. It's a built sleeved V18 with 20 crank and forged rods and all the stuff. Now we got it sorted, day before yesterday, it made 300 kilowatt on 15 pound. But the reason why I'm having this discussion is, I'm not going to show the brand. This whole time we've been chasing this issue with the computer turning off and this interference or noise in the computer is these Chinese coils.
It comes from China.
Like they're like a cheap replacement for the Tech or Toshiba Electrical Corporation factory coils. This whole time we've been chasing this issue with the ECU turning off and all this signal interference has all been because of these. These are brand new. They've done
Hours.
Like they've literally run
12 hours, if not even that.
total. And our Auto Sparky, it's had him, you know, retracing wires and doing all kinds of crazy things. Some of the other boys have had a look at it. And what it came down to was there's actually must be a short internally in these coils that is actually causing signal interference and discharge back to the computer, which is causing us a whole bunch of issues. So don't buy these, like don't buy aftermarket coils. These are some test coils that we've had lying around that we use for obviously diagnostics. They've probably done over 200 and something thousand Ks. They were sitting in the bottom of my toolbox, and the car made 300 kilowatt on these on 15 pound with no problems at all. No signal interference, no ECU dropping out, nothing. It goes to show you, buy good quality stuff. Don't just look at something because it's cheap. Look at what you're trying to do. If you want to make power, the cheap stuff doesn't work. I'm really excited to show you guys the last part of the tuning when we can get a hole in the dyno to get this on and turn this thing up. This thing made 300 kilowatt, like I said, on 15 pound. The owner believes that the setup in the last car made, I think he said to me yesterday, like 550 kilowatt engine. So we should be able to do like 450 kilowatt wheel on this. So I'm getting excited. Old B series, big turbo, lots of fuel, lots of wheel spin, can't go wrong. You're never gonna catch me! It's on the dyno. We finally got a spot in our busy schedule to get this finished and done for the owner. Pretty stoked that we finally got the little issues and gremlins and things sorted out with this thing. We have already done a couple of runs, not today, but when we were chasing this issue. See you next year! Daniel's just gonna sit there and do the things. Go. 1 bar of boost, 299 wheel kilowatt, 350 crank, 500 newton meters. That makes pretty good power for something that he hasn't even really finished tuning yet. Actually, it'd be a good comparison if we compare that to a late model type bar. There's a difference between a K20C and a B series. So you see the K20C is all fat up top. This B series isn't even tuned, it comes on a little bit lazier. But look at the boost difference. So this is the Type R and this is the EG that we've got on the dyno right now. You look at the boost difference and the wheel number, So yes, the late model K series, so the K20C factory turbo engine makes it more torque, but it goes to show you how efficient these B series engines still are. You know, they make the same power. It's pretty impressive. We should be able to see this thing do some, should be cool. Out the injectors. Yeah, but we're not getting any power to the ground. No. 320 wheel kilowatt and 521 Newton meters. Drop the pressures down. All that's happening right now is Daniel did do a slight boost increase, but now it won't hold on the roller at all. It's just standing up on the roller and doing a burnout. So we're trying to get the tyres hot effectively, and we've added some more belt grip tyres. Other than that, we're going to have to make an adjustment on how we're doing the strapping on the car, because at this rate it's just doing straight to rev limit of burnouts on the dyno. So I have no idea how much power it actually makes right now. Going to go get some bigger wheels. That's all I can do at this stage. Luckily I like Hondas, so I've got Honda wheels lying around. I got my 15 9s, so I've got some AR1 225 45 15s on those. If that doesn't work, I've got some 245 45 15s, or I've also got my other Yokohamas, which I really don't want to use because they're mine.
So what's happening at the moment? Just wheel spin?
Wheel spin. It's just going straight to rev limit, and it's standing up on the roller like it's just doing wheel spin. So I'm going to try and put some bigger tyres on it just for now, see if that helps a bit. Yeah, other than that, we can try some inventive stropping. It's just because there's no weight in the front of the car and it just makes heaps of jams. So yeah, I'm just going to go dig out my spare wheels and go do that. That's all I can do. 15 9s. Hopefully should do it. They've only got my little ones on it though, the 225. Yeah, 225s. But they're still bigger than what's on there right now. It's only got 205s on it. So. Hi. I'm tired. Yeah, so we are back to the board on tuning it. It's mainly like 300 wheel on a bar, so we're going to wind it up. Started working my way up at 120. Managed to get like 2 runs with it gripping up, and then started going to 130, 140, and 130 we're at 89% duty, so that's probably where we're going to leave it, but I just can't seem to get a run and keep this thing from not breaking traction. So it's the downside of a rolling road, so we just, JP's probably explaining putting some grippier tyres on it. So. But yeah, it's
in the jam. Still really annoying. I keep losing, like dropping out on the logging, so I'm probably just going to have to log it on the dyno and then just tweak my fueling. I've got some knock stuff in there that I'm watching as well, so it seems to be fine. The kind is, I think I'm just going to leave it where it is. It's nice and safe. The car doesn't run an knock sensor on it, so yeah, we're just using other equipment to log. So 300 wheels on a bar, but yeah, maybe 340, 350, on a little bit more. It's pretty much going to be
300 kilowatt before.
yeah, it's pretty much going to be undrivable on low boost, so I don't really see the point of winding it up, but it's got a boost switch on it, so we're just making use of it.
Now that is a wheel.
Hey JP, they're really nice.
And these are my small tyres.